To the Campbellsville Rotary Club 2022 primary debate for the mayoral candidates of Campbellsville. First of all, I want to tell you real quick that the restrooms are back here to my left. There's two restrooms there. There's exits on both sides if you need to leave. Try to do that quietly. If it's possible, wait between the candidates unless you're dying or something, then we'll make an exception for you. I do want to let you know that the event tonight is also sponsored by local media of Central Kentucky News Journal, Ford Broadcasting, and we are live on Q104, and that's what we were waiting on there just a moment ago. And then WLCU TV is recording tonight's debate, and it will be broadcast for the first time Friday evening at 6 p.m. Then there will be multiple plays after that, but we will also have that uploaded after they get it edited and processed. That we'll upload that on YouTube so you can share that amongst your social media followers and friends. I want to introduce to you first our panelists that will be asking questions this evening. That is Jeannie Clark from WLCU TV, Bill Sanders from Ford Broadcasting, representing Q104 and K Country Tonight, Joey Hartless, representing the Rotary Club, and Alex Brotman, representing the Central Kentucky News Journal. So we're really glad that you're here. This is our first time doing this, so have a little grace with us. If we mess something up, it'll be okay, I promise. We'll all live through it. John Bertram is going to be the official timekeeper tonight, so the candidates will have 2 minutes to respond. If you see John waving a little flag at them, that means they've got 30 seconds left. He's not giving them some secret code or anything other than they need to land the plane. Okay? So we're going to start by allowing the candidates 3 minutes to do an opening introduction. And I'm going to tell you who the candidates are, and just in case you don't know, and as I call their name, I'm going to ask them to take their seat up here. And this is in no particular order other than the order that I have them written down in here. So Diane Ford Benningfield. Diane, I believe, is drawn number 1. So she will be on the far end down here. Sharon Hoskins Sanders. And I don't know what number Sharon got, so she's going to be number 4. Ronnie Dooley.
3.
Number 3. Mitch Overstreet.
5, sir.
Tony Young. And Dennis Benningfield.
6.
Is number 6. So that is your 6 candidates for the mayor's position in Campbellsville. And if you're not familiar with how this works, if any people that wants to can run in the primary. We have 6. The top 2 vote getters will continue on to the fall election. It's called the general election for November. So 2 of these 4 will carry on. So we want to give everybody an opportunity to be able to talk about their platform and their vision for Campbellsville, and we're going to get started with that. So we will get started right off the bat with number 1, which was, I believe, Diane, and she will give her 3-minute introduction.
Thank you. Whew, let the short girl pull it down.
Kill.
There we go. Who would have thought when I was appointed mayor, our community would have been faced with an F3 tornado and just a week later an F1 tornado. Floods, wildfires, and multiple swiftwater rescues. Mother Nature, boy, did she just need to go on vacation. When appointed by the council to complete this term, I knew there would be a great deal to organize, but what I did not have a clue was how much that would be uncovered at that point. Many difficult decisions had to be made, and that's why I felt the need to run for mayor of Campbellsville. It's hard to make decisions without having all the facts. There have been 60-plus hour weeks, sleepless nights, and high emotions throughout. I've been working hard with FEMA and will be recovering over $100,000 in lost wages, equipment, and supplies. My qualifications speak for themselves. Having been a mayor of a prior city, a councilwoman for 12 years, I have a level 3 Master of City Governance for the state of Kentucky. I am also certified in contract negotiations and grant writing from the Gatton School of Business of University of Kentucky, and I'm also an alumni of IU. In the short amount of time since I've been appointed, I've saved over $109,000 currently in our water company budget, increased the hourly wages of our police officers, and now we have a new executive director of fire, EMS, and rescue. This has immediately saved us over $200,000, and we are currently working on wage increases for these departments. Lastly, our sanitation. It's a department that truly has never had the opportunity to succeed. It's a department overworked, it had broken down trucks, and has never been completely funded department at all. With this being said, our sanitation is now under contract, and it is actually bringing in revenue for the first time to the city. But it's really hard to match the personal city sanitation workers. They worked so very hard for so many years by going above and beyond all of their responsibilities of their duties and made our lives easier. And for that, I just want to thank them. We have received over $804,000 in grant money with the water company. And by doing that, being dedicated to you, constant and fair, is really who I am, standing up for what is right in your vote. I will not stand here and promise you all kinds of big problems and promises for everything in the future, but I will promise you this. You will never find a harder worker, more caring person to help our community and secure the blessings of our future. So with this said, I humbly ask you for your vote for Campbellsville Mayor and for your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. I believe next is Tony Young.
It's great to be here tonight. Can I tell you a story? When I was mayor, the second term, about halfway through the term, I was invited to attend a meeting that was about an hour or over an hour drive from here. I had a chance to sit there, and I met a local doctor there. And the local doctor learned that I was from the Campbellsville area, but he didn't know who I was for sure or what I did. So he started telling me, he said, "Have you been downtown Campbellsville? Have you seen that city or what's happening down there? The crosswalks, the alleyways, the charm, the excitement that the community had. I just can't wait to go back." So after a while, he and I were talking, I had an opportunity to tell him that, yes sir, I'm very familiar with that. I'm the mayor of Campbellsville, and that is something I want to share with you what we did. We had planning meetings, we talked with business owners, we got their input, we found out that all of them wanted to be able to attract people to come to Campbellsville, to visit and spend time and have a good time. So we put together a little plan, and we dressed up our stops, our crosswalks, we beautified that alley, we worked on the landscaping, put up new lighting, and it was amazing what we were able to do because we did it together. We worked together and we were excited, and one thing led to the other. It just continued to grow. We worked on the Civic Center, completely remodeled that. We redid the police department and the public works department. It just seemed like one thing led to the other. You know, that's the way I do things. I like to get people's input. I like to hear what they say. I like to hear what they want. And through them, I get a direction and I get an opportunity to help them to do what they want to do in our city. And it's exciting, it's rewarding. You know, it's really something to get that kind of a compliment from someone that doesn't even live here and he wants to come back. So it's wonderful, and that's really rewarding. You know, Campbellsville's kind of stagnated in the last 3 years. It's kind of went backwards. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And I'm here to restore the glory of Campbellsville being the city on the move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Ronnie, I believe you're next, and I'll just remind the candidates to try to put the microphone to fit you best you can. We are needing that audio for our Facebook feed, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name's Ronnie Dooley, and it's an honor for me to be here. I appreciate the last two candidates that spoke. both of them mayor position now and one previous mayor. I, never had the experience to say that I've been mayor of Campbellsville, but that's the reason that I'm running now, is to bring hopefully some new ideals to the table. I can proudly say that I've been a lifelong resident of Campbellsville, of the city of Campbellsville, all my life. And I am a community servant, and that's just been my compassion because I love my community. I started serving when I was about 16 years old on the volunteer fire department, and I continued that service as well. Been still on the volunteer fire department, and proud to be a member of the Campbellsville Fire and Rescue and Taylor County Fire Department. I've always had a compassion to help people. Whenever I graduated from Campbellsville High School in June of 1978, my first full-time job was with the city of Campbellsville in August of 1978 as a police dispatcher. And I performed those duties and for 34 years until I retired in 2012. And along with that, at that time we only done police dispatching for the Campbellsville Police and the Sheriff's Department, law enforcement. But it came a long ways in my time. I was proud to say I've been instrumental in the consolidation of from one law enforcement dispatch to where it took on all the emergency service dispatch. I was part of the basic 911 system when it first went into operation. Then I was part of the enhanced 911 system when it went into operation as well. I've been in the dispatch for 34 years. I've had roughly about 3 dispatch centers built around me in my time there, and I felt that I was instrumental in having a part in those dispatch centers. I am also in the pastoral ministry, have been for 24 years here in Campbellsville, pastoring the Elkhorn United Methodist Church. And I'm also involved in Taylor County Emergency Management. I've been involved with that for 35 years, and where I currently serve now is the Emergency Management Director. In my role in 911, I served as supervisor and assistant supervisor, and I was involved in some grant writings, and both times the grants were very successful. But I am proud to be a candidate for the Campbellsville mayor, and I solicit your support and hope that you would consider new leadership within the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Sharon Hoskins Sanders, I believe you're up next.
Well, I'm first giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, and He is the purpose of us being here. I also want to thank the Rotary Club, the Fort Broadcasting, TV4, Central Kentucky News. A little bit about my personal background. I've lived in Campbellsville all my life. I'm married to James. My son Marlon, as everybody knows, just passed, and his wife Jessica. I have 3 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. I attended the Durham School, graduated from Campbellsville High School, business courses at Campbellsville University. I completed 2 years at the University of Louisville School of Banking and was awarded the Kentucky Bankers Association Scholarship to attend the University of Wisconsin's banking. I had 34 years of finance and banking, and I did retire after 22 years at Fort Bank, where I was loan officer and assistant vice president. I have been involved in community activities for over 25 years. The Campbellsville Housing Board Commission, alumna of Campbellsville Taylor County Leadership, Kentucky Martin Luther King Leadership Award a couple years ago, a Campbellsville Business and Professional Woman of the Day, and I have been on the City Council for 12 years. I feel that I am well qualified for this position, being in finance. Some of my main goals to become mayor would be to communication and transparency. I do plan to look at the concurrent garbage collection. We've had some issues with that, however, I think it has improved. I have to echo Diane, I think the people like the personal effect of our own guys picking up the garbage. They've been very efficient and we appreciate all that. And saying all of that, my future plans is, my vision is to one day, I know we can't do it all in 4 years, is to revise the plan for the recreational park. And that being said, I would love to see a water park. First we got to address the swimming pool for the kids. And the employee wages, we've got to just work on that. I think the city council have been doing a good job in trying to get that done for us. I will appreciate you all considering voting for me. I do feel like, again, that I am well qualified and I will do the best. I'm honest, dependable, I have compassion, and I love this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I believe Mitch Overstreet is up next.
Good evening, friends and fellow candidates. I'm Mitch Overstreet, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to be here tonight to tell you a little bit more about myself and why I feel I'm the right person to serve as your next mayor of Campbellsville. And so our other candidates, I've lived here in Campbellsville all my life. As a child, I played a lot of baseball and basketball and football in the empty lots and driveways around our town. On Saturday afternoons, I walked to the old Cozy Theater on our city streets. In 1979, my senior year of high school, went to work for Ronnie Dooley at an HEW sports shop and was blessed to have that job for nearly 41 years. Helping make it one of the most successful sporting goods businesses in the state, something which I'm very proud of. I probably sold a ball bat, or a ball glove, or a school jacket to either one of you or your children in that span of time. And I spent 38 years coaching youth football and serving as treasurer for the Campbellsville Community Club. And as I see out here tonight, I have no doubt, and I've already seen a few of them, that some of y'all either coached you or your sons in that 38 years. I was elected in 2006 as a member of the Campbellsville Independent School Board, now serving my 16th year. My wife, Karen Blevins Overstreet, and I have been happily married for nearly 25 years. Amazing she's been able to put up with it that long. Service to this community has been my calling since my teenage years back in 1979 when I coached my first football game. I'm an average citizen, I'm not a politician, and I don't have any prior experience running city government. But I do believe my experience in other areas of leadership, as well as my devotion and our love for our city and our community, will guide me in making decisions that would make me suitable for this job. I'll work with our local and state elected officials for continued economic opportunities for the community. I believe in transparency with our city government. I will involve the city council in all decisions that are made when making decisions for our city, because I believe that's the way to maintain teamwork and good relationships. I will look for ways to reestablish our city sanitation service. And when the park's concerned, I think the youth of our community are our future, and they deserve our focus. Finally, I will keep Campbellsville a progressive and growing city, and I would appreciate your support for mayor in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. And Mr. Dennis Benningfield.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Benningfield. A little higher. I'm married to Kathy Benningfield. We have 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren. I was born and raised in this community. Grew up, went to Campbellsville High School there and attended Western Kentucky University. I began my career in law enforcement in 1983 with Kentucky State Police. Retired with 22 years of service with Kentucky State Police and went through the ranks up to lieutenant and assistant post commander. I had an opportunity to be across all the state, all cities and counties, and this county here and this city here is, to me, is one of the greatest that's ever been around. The problem with, after my Kentucky State Police career, I was chief police here from 2005 to 2011. The department was in great need of several things. I was the only one that's ever been able to get this police department accredited, and in so doing, with the Kentucky League of Cities, we also received what they call the Golden Eagle Award. There was only a handful of those throughout the whole state that was given, and that was because of our perfect score of 100. So I worked hard in law enforcement. After I left the chief police job, I went to work in Frankfort for the Kentucky Board of Auctioneers as a compliance officer throughout the whole state, and then it was later merged with the Kentucky Real Estate Authority. I worked at that for approximately 4 years, and the Campbellsville Alcoholic Beverage Control Administrative job became available here, and that's what I currently do today. And speaking of that particular job, and the mayor had touched on it earlier, our police officers were in desperate need of a raise. A little over $12 some an hour. We had multiple police officers leaving, going to other agencies. I was able to look at the regulatory fees in this that we collect from our businesses there. Not only have we lowered the 5% to the customers, but we also were able to give the officers a raise much needed. I've got the little flag going up here on it. A lot of things I'd like to say, but the reason I'm running for mayor is we need a new direction, new vision. In the past, we have settled for the status quo and basically been in maintenance mode. That's not for me. I want to move in a new direction. I want to lead this town. I want to build our employees' relationship up. But I'll say 5 things that I want the people to know that they can count on me as a mayor. Number 1 is communication, empathy towards the people and their needs, ethical decisions, and accountability. That's a thing that nobody's held in the past. Is I want to be accountable. You know, if I make decisions, nobody's going to be blamed. We have to go through those obstacles and move in the direction that we need to go. I wish I had more time to talk. The only thing that I wish that the voters will vote for Dennis Bedingfield for mayor. I'm the number 2 candidate on the ballot, and I will serve you well. Thank you. God bless you. And with my faith and hope in God, I know that Campbellsville will prosper. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. We're going to move into a question and answer format now. The panel will ask a question. The candidate will have 2 minutes to answer. So please pay attention to John. When, if he waves the flag, it means you've got 30 seconds left to land the plane. And then if a candidate specifically mentions another candidate, then that candidate will get a 1-minute rebuttal. Our first one is going to be Mr. Ronnie Dooley. And the first question, I believe, will come from Alex Brock.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, Ronnie, concerning abandoned and unkept properties within the city, how do you plan to enforce the property maintenance code enforcement ordinance?
Right, and that is something that I have personally observed myself. I've even mentioned to my wife that we have so much abandoned property, and in the city limits, it's an eyesore. Of course, we do have a compliance officer. We want to be sure that that person is doing their job and identifying these areas. And then whatever extreme that the city ordinance is written, I think we need to go as far as we can on that and try to get this property cleaned up. So if you know, a lot of this property has been abandoned, it's from people that's passed on, and the heirs is responsible for it, and in some places they don't know who the heirs are. So, you know, certainly we'll check with our city attorney, our legal, and see what recourse we need to take. But it is definitely something that needs to be followed up on, and the city needs to try its best to enforce that and get our city back to looking good again.
Thank you, Ronnie. Our next question will come from Jeannie Clark with WLCU, and it will be addressed to Dennis Pennyfield.
You said in your opening remarks that you wanted to take Campbellsville in a new direction with a new vision. So what are some of the projects you plan to introduce if you are elected?
Okay, the first thing is our industrial and residential growth. If we're going to expand in our growth for our city, we're going to have to expand our tax base beyond, not against the residents, but we're going to have to invite other industries in and work very hard to bring new jobs and high-paying jobs into this city. Secondly, the residential development. We're really low on places for people to live right now. We need new development on the residential. If we're going to invite people to move into this town, they want a safe place to live, they want a good place to work, and they want a place to play. That's the reason we need to keep our parks developed, and my vision is to keep Miller Park upgraded. When we talk about the sports park, that's a different issue as far as the money. I'd love to be able to explain that. I think we'll probably get a time on it. But it takes, in order to do that, we're a third-class city. We don't have the opportunity to collect restaurant tax fees and resident room tax. All other cities outside the Class 3 cities collect that, or third-class cities, I'm sorry, collect that. That's a revenue that a lot of people look into. That's how they develop parks. You know, there's always contributions and donations, but it's a big development, but it's nothing that will actually be on the back burner, but it's something that you have to progress for within a 2 to 5 year plan.
Thank you. The next question will come from Joey Hartledge with Rotary Club, and it will be for Sharon Austin Sanders.
How would you describe the current quality of life in Campbellsville? And as mayor, what steps would you take to increase the quality of life?
Well, I really think the quality of life is, we're on top of things here. I think there could be some improvements with some of the neighborhoods, revitalization. And in saying that, I think Ronnie's question was how are we going to abide by the ordinance? I think our collection process is a real, as far as property taxes and things like that. And it's just, I think the quality, our health, our recreational parks, it's just an overall thing that we have to work on to have that good quality of life. Even though we do have it now, we still have to work on revitalization and making the clean city. You know, we've had a problem with the garbage collection. We're trying to work on that. Our street departments, they work on our streets constantly. And I think it's overall, it's going to be an ongoing process. But I do think overall, Campbellsville, our quality of life is great. I would not live anywhere else. I love my city. And I just think that we can continue to do the things that we're doing to improve the quality of life. And to also enhance people to come live in Campbellsville. I think that's a big key. And that creates economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, staying with the rules, she did mention Ronnie by name, so he has an opportunity to rebuttal if he feels like there's anything to rebut there.
I don't feel anything.
I didn't think you would, but I just want to make sure they're all playing about the same rules. The next question will be from Jeannie Clark with WLCU-TV, and it will be for Mitch.
As a lifelong resident, how do you plan to address the garbage issues that we are all facing right now?
So, everybody knows we don't have any of our own sanitation trucks anymore. And I will bring this back to Ms. Benfield. Like I said, we don't, those guys that we had years ago, I'm gonna name some of them by name, and Joe McDonald, Byron Bama Jones, who are no longer with us now, and Larry Despain, those guys are fantastic. So that being said, I would like to see us have the opportunity, I know the fiscal court is using Waste Connection also right now. I would like to see us maybe have a joint venture together to be able to maybe buy some trucks, hire some good help. You know, obviously we're post-pandemic now, so I hope and pray, and we would be able to, you know, have an opportunity to get us some good city sanitation workers and go back to that personal, you know, having that where they put your trash can back next to your house. If it doesn't go in the dumpster when they put it in there, it doesn't lay in the road. Like I said, but I think I have a really good relationship with the city council. I'm elected, and I would like to have that opportunity, maybe to work, like I said, with the fiscal court and the magistrates to have that opportunity to get a little sanitation back up and going. Because and I'm sure the trucks are going to be expensive. Maybe there'll be an opportunity out there to buy some refurbished trucks from another larger community. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to have a chance to rebut on that since he named you?
I would like to say a couple things.
This is Diane for Benningfield. I'm sorry, I did not state your name.
That's okay. In reference to the sanitation, when I was appointed mayor and brought in, we were under the contract already, currently with the sanitation department. With that being said, that is a contract in which you can't just break overnight. It is a contract, it's a binding document. Even though it's gotten a lot better, the opportunities when it was started was not able for the individuals to be able to ride with our old sanitation workers, so therefore they didn't even know the routes, which made to a lot of difficulties and decisions to make to clean up. So with the sanitation, what we need to do is continue to work with them, have an open dialogue, and continue with the contract that we currently have, because at this point it cannot be broken. Thank you.
The next question will be for Tony Young, and it will be presented by Bill Sanders with WCKQ 204.
Good evening, Tony. When we talk about leadership, we talk about mayoral positions, we talk about local government. One of the big questions that always comes up is economics. Economic development, how do we stand? Now, if you were to take your top 3 concerns regarding Campbellsville's economy, what kind of plan do you have for economic development here?
One of my concerns that I feel like we have is, again, I'm all about rebirth. I'm all about revival. I think that South Campbellsville has been let go, and that affects everything. People coming in and visiting our city, people coming in and just overall looking around. And Campbellsville really needs some attention on South Campbellsville. So what I want to do is put together a plan, involve the people of South Campbellsville, have them, and I've already began that, and I'm working with them, talking with them, and coming up with ideas that will help them to get Campbellsville, South Campbellsville, back to where it should be. You know, we've been successful in other areas, so let's work there. And one of the first things that I want to do is I want to build a sidewalk from downtown all the way to the dollar store and maybe over to Country View, which is part of the city. I think that's so important for a safety standpoint, and if we don't look good, if the community isn't lit well, if the roads aren't taken care of, you know, it just really grows from there. But on the other hand, if we do a good job of taking care of what we have, and South Campbellsville needs it desperately. So that's one of the first places I want to go. Actually, it was my next step but I've already had it engineered. We're ready to go on a sidewalk that's going to be well lit and take care of the problem. So sometimes you go out there, it's so dangerous just to walk. There's no place to walk either in somebody's yard or out on that highway, which is so dangerous. So my plan is to revitalize and have a rebirth in South Campbellsville. I can't wait to get started. I'm excited. That's one of the first things I want to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Diane, I don't know if you had a rebuttal there, but I don't think you actually had a question. So if you would come to the podium, I believe Alex Brotman would like to ask you a question.
To move that mic every time, sorry.
That's okay. I have the opposite problem.
Okay.
Diane, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in Campbellsville?
Thank you for that question. I guess I can say that to continue doing what I'm already doing. Since being appointed mayor, it's been very important to me to be transparent and have the open door. I answer personally every single phone call that comes into the office. I also answer every single email personally. I don't have a secretary that does it for me. In addition to, in the meetings, as many of you here have been, committees have been formed for many areas. The ARPA funds is one of them, which is the CARES Act money that was given to this city. We developed a committee to be more transparent, and that was something that wasn't mandatory to do. It was something that I chose to do to bring to the council and then ask the council. They were 100% on board. We got the community involved as well as council members on a committee rather. So that being said, I think it's vitally important to not only have your council aware and what's going on and making sure they know that they can have anything put on the agenda, as well as the daily and monthly needs of the city, as well as bringing in the community and letting them know that there is an open door policy. My door is truly open and people truly walk through it. So I think the clear message of being able to listen to people when they call and have concerns and questions, and then being able to react upon the needs in which they ask for. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to go to Joey Hartledge with the Rotary Club and Ronnie Dooley. He would like to ask you a question.
How do you plan to tackle funding issues, both structural and budgetary, within the EMS department?
I think some of those challenges have already been tackled. The mayor and I and the oversight committee, which consists of 3 city council persons, 3 fiscal court members, the mayor, the county judge, and the 2 legal advisors, has just recently started meeting over the last couple of years on a regular basis to see how things is going in EMS and the rescue side and 911 as well too. Those are the 3 critical agencies that the city and county jointly fund. And I was appointed chairperson of that committee. In the past, the committee had very seldom, if any, met at all. And so we seen some problems. I seen some problems as council person, and I started addressing some of those problems with some of the oversight committee members. I was appointed to that committee when I first became a city council person almost 4 years ago. And so over the course of the last year and a half, we have addressed several of those concerns. And so I think that has helped the budget a whole lot. Another thing in the EMS is that it's the pay is not, as well as all city employees, has not been good. In comparing our salaries with third-class cities, we have people leaving, going to smaller cities for better pay, and really we shouldn't be looking at third-class cities. The other third-class cities will be looking at us and how well we're paying. So I think that we need to look at pay and help retain our employees.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Can I make a statement since you referred to the mayor twice?
Yes, you may.
Just to add to the information in which he gave you, the EMS department has just recently received a new executive chief director. It is Chief Taylor, like I mentioned earlier in the opening statement. With that new direction, there's also been a new alignment within EMS, and with that, it has saved over $200,000 immediately in our budget. And with that, we are currently working literally as we speak for raises for all EMS workers based on classifications. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony, if you would make your way back to the microphone, please. Joey Hartledge would like to ask you a question.
What would you do differently in your time as mayor in comparison to the last time you were elected?
I feel like I'm going to do some planning. I'm going to do my homework like I've always done. I don't know that I'm really ready to change anything because I'm really excited about what we were accomplished when I was a mayor. And I think it's important that we continue on with the development of the projects that we were doing then. Example, the sports complex. You know, it's interesting, this time of year, to wait just a little bit longer maybe, and in the springtime, go down about 7 o'clock, drive through Miller Park, look at the excitement, feel the atmosphere of downtown, of our Little League. It's the heart of our community. These young people are the heart of our community, and we need to focus really hard to do whatever we can to help them, support them, give them everything they need. But in the meantime, one need that's really, really important, and that is our girls softball. You know, they're doing a great job, but they have record numbers this year. And I've been contacting those people, and been talking to them, and they are excited. They want to move forward on the development of at least something out there in a new area for the girls. And that needs to be done along with some soccer fields. What I've learned is they have the expertise and they can really help us. When I was mayor, I had right at $2 million set around in a savings account. And it was available to work on these projects. You know, we know it's going to cost a lot of money, but we've got some talented people in this community. They're eager, they're excited, they're looking forward to working on that project, and I have a feeling that we're going to be able to move forward on that soon with their help. And I've met with those people, and they are, all we got to do is give them the tools and get out of their way. They're ready to move forward, and they know that it's time. And I'm really they've done a great job at Trace Creek. Those directors, the coaches, the parents, they've done a great job. But you always embarrassment when you go to other towns, you take your granddaughters, you take your daughters to other cities, and you look and see what they have. And then look and see what Campbellsville has. It gets washed out every 3 or 4 years. We've got to do better for our girls. And our girls deserve it, and that's what's going to be done differently. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Sharon Hoskins Sanders, Jeannie Clark with WLCE-TV would like to ask you a question.
Part of your campaign has been focused on unification within the community. How do we diversify civic engagement and create more unification among minorities?
Well, I think this, as far as unifying the community and being diverse, we have some people that are in place to do that in different organizations as far as GCU and diversity. They do an excellent job of working on the diversity in our community. However, there are still the barriers that we face every day. The barriers could be race, sometimes gender, but those are things that we have to work on to unify. You know, God made us all in the same image. We all have different personalities. However, at the end of the day, we should all be able to come together and unify on behalf of this community. I personally, I don't really have any problems as far as the being discriminated or anything like that. I hear stories. Back a long time ago, I was involved. I mean, I was in the 50s, and I was born in the 50s, and we went through some changes. However, now is a new day. And I think that our communities have become more unified, but we still have work to do. There are still people that are way back. However, we need to come up to date so we can get this work together. The city of Campbellsville is just, like I said before, is an excellent place to live. Now, we don't really have direct problems as far as, being unified, I think. However, there's always work to be done to bring things together. And I think that overall, we'll get that accomplished. And I will be, as their next mayor, I will make sure that everything is unified within the city government, employees, and everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Ford Benningfield. Mr. Bill Sanders has a question for you.
Ms. Benningfield, when you were appointed as temporary mayor of the city of Campbellsville, apparently there were some statements made that you would not run for mayor during this election. Can you explain to us why that has changed?
Absolutely, and you are correct. I was kind of taken off guard because when a mayor either resigns or cannot fulfill their term, the council has an opportunity to either appoint within 30 days, or if you do not, the governor has the opportunity to appoint whomever. The council asked me to step in to do so, and I was voted in by the council to do so. And when I asked if I had any intentions of running at that time, I did say no, I had no intentions, and I didn't. But once I got in, and I thought that there would be a percentage of organization because I had been a mayor before, I realized after meeting with every department and meeting with the head of each department, more and more was being uncovered that had not been accomplished for many, many years. We're talking 10 plus years. And in order to accomplish stability and revenue and tackle the issues at hand with our city, I knew that there would be no possible way that we could achieve those goals in 15 months. Things that I've already planted and started and began for this community, I wanted to be able to see in fruition and take care of, so I can eventually get to the point to where I can be with my grandchildren in a wonderful community that's stable and has economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis Benningfield, if you would go to the microphone, please. Ms. Alex Brotman has a question for you.
You good?
I'm good.
Great. So with your experience in law enforcement, how do you plan to tackle issues like infrastructure, the garbage issue, and things like roadways?
Okay, the garbage issue, and that's been covered before, is under contract. The gentleman that we had that worked in the past, great guys, they picked your garbage up, no problem. But I have personally talked to numerous of the individual drivers of waste management, and their problem is same thing as everywhere, is manpower. They train people, it takes them months to train the route, about the time they get them trained, then they leave. It's a starting over process. But that has gotten a lot better, a lot better. Communication between the city and the waste management, this can all be resolved. Now, other than that, what was your first question?
With your experience in law enforcement, tackling issues like infrastructure,
Okay.
and garbage and roadways.
Okay, our infrastructure is about as bad as it's ever been in history. Other than the last time City Hall was built, our fire station, police station, those buildings were built in 1950s. They're on their last leg. We're gonna have to, if we're gonna be here for the next 5 to 10 years to take care of the citizens of this community, we have got to build our infrastructure to get these departments where they need to be at. One of the buildings has a floor jack under it, holding it up. That's how bad these are. As far as our streets, I'll do everything that I can to get every dollar of the gasoline highway usage tax to come to Campbellsville. And Kentucky League of Cities is currently looking at that for more funding for our blacktops and our streets. Our streets are in terrible shape. We've got potholes deep. We need to take care of our streets, and I'll see every dollar I can for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mitch Overstreet. Bill Sanders would like to ask you a question.
And Mitch, first off, I want to thank you and everyone for putting your name in the hat to run for mayor. That's a great accomplishment in and of itself. Appreciate yourself out there, so thank you. In regards to your earlier statement about your experiences and your life here in Campbellsville, give us, in your view, why you feel you are qualified to be mayor of Campbellsville.
Well, like I said, I don't have any previous experiences in government affairs, or city affairs, so to speak. But I have spent 16 years on the Campbellsville Independent School Board. In that time, I've had to make some decisions that were pretty tough, pretty hard when it comes to making some hires. Because you know we hire the superintendent, so we'll just leave it at that. I feel like I have a good relationship with the people on the city council, or the ones that may be voted in on city council, and like I said, I would like to continue on and to develop a better relationship with the Tanner County Fiscal Court, and I know we share some expenses now, but I feel like there's going to be more opportunity there to share more expenses in the future. And whoever is going to be mayor, myself or one of these 5 other people running right now, we're not looking at affecting the city for the next 4 years, but face it, this is going to be long down the road. I think 12, 16, 20 years down the road from now is we're looking at long-term effects for whoever's going to be mayor for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. We're going to switch the format up just a little bit for the next few questions. We're going to give each candidate an opportunity to answer the same question for the next 3 or 4 questions. So Alex, if you would ask the next question, and I will just let you know, we've got to just do a little commercial break for FCC rules at the top of the hour. So if you hear that, don't think that we've switched over to radio live. Alex?
Actually, I want to.
Oh, Bill, okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's
What we'd like to do.
It's going to be the same format. You'll have 2 minutes to answer, okay?
What we'd like to do as a panel is to ask you guys a question, and this will be the same question for each one of you, okay? And so it's a little different than what we've done so far. So if you would, we'll go ahead and start with on this end with Dennis to get up, and you'll all have the same question and an opportunity to answer. So this question to you is, if you're not elected, okay, what suggestion would you make to the person that is elected?
If not elected, the person that is elected, I would love to sit down and talk with them, share my vision with them. Maybe they can use some ideas that we can share together. It's all about communication. I don't hold grudges. I don't have a personal agenda myself. The only reason I'm running is for the people of this community. I want to see us move forward. And if any idea that I have that I could share with someone who is elected, I would be more than glad to work with them any way possible.
Thank you. Mitch? Again, if you are not elected, what advice or suggestion would you make to the person who does win the election?
So not elected, referring to what Mr. Benefield said there, we're gonna have great opportunity right now. We've probably got as much influence right now in Frankfurt that we've ever had with Senator Max Wide right now, being there, whether he runs for governor or not. Maybe he put that idea in his head. Michael Sarge Pollock, and Michael is re-elected again. So I feel like whoever's going to be next mayor can utilize those resources with those two gentlemen in Frankfurt, that there's going to be some prosperous time for council on down the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Austin Sanders. Same question.
If I'm not elected, probably my suggestion would be to whomever the mayor would be to make sure that the whole community is being communicated to and being transparent. I hear so many people say, well, I don't know, you know, the communication is key. And I think as long as people are in the know, that individual, whomever it might be, they will buy into what we're doing as a community. I have been in city government for 12 years and on city council, and I've worked also in other areas of city governments and civics groups. And I feel like that it won't end there if I don't become mayor. I still want to be involved, and I want to be in the know of what's going on, because this is where I've lived all my life. Again, I love Campbellsville, I love my people. And if I don't get mayor, feel free to give me a call. If I can do anything for anybody, I will do that. Thank you.
Before we move to the next one, I'm just going to say you're listening to WCKQ Campbellsville, 104.1 FM. Mr. Dooley.
Robbie Allen's first official station ID.
Second.
Ronnie, same question. If you are elected, what suggestion would you make to the one that does win the election?
In my 34-year employment with the city of Campbellsville, I was originally hired by Mayor then Robert L. Miller, and he was always a role model to me. He would treat the employees just the same as he would any citizen, and vice versa. And so that would be my recommendation, is be transparent, treat your employees with respect, the same way that you would treat a voter. And that's what I would want to do, is I would want to be the same to everybody. And in the mornings when I get up, I always remember who I am, and I'm a child of God, and I'm a Christian, and I want to be perceived that way. So that's be the next advice I would give if I was not to win, is, just treat your employees, because they are your biggest asset that you can have.
Thank you, Ronnie. Tony?
Thank you very much. Very good question. The most important thing that you can do whenever you have an issue, anything that you have that you need to deal with, you need to come up with a plan. You need to do your homework, get the facts together, get all the information needed to make a good decision. Then once you've done that, then you need to communicate. You need to get a hold of the people that's involved and talk with them individually. Give them an opportunity to tell you what they think. Share with them your ideas. Come back with your ideas, and then together you form a plan of what you want to do. And then once you come and you agree on a plan, then you go together and execute it, and you move forward. If you do those 3 steps, you most always will do good. You'll get a lot of input. I love to surround myself with the smartest people I can find. I love to be the dumbest one in the room, because then I have a lot of good smart people telling me how I can improve. So it's important to involve other people, get their opinion, and listen to them, and then go together jointly to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Diane, same question. If you don't win, what suggestions or recommendations do you make to the one that does?
Well, I'm in a unique position right now being the current mayor, so if I would not be elected, the most important thing is to have the opportunity to sit down with that individual, give them a list and all the knowledge that had been going on over the last 15 months, let them know the programs, the different developments that have been started, and give them the information in order to make them successful. That's the only way that you can have unity and be able to strive on the same platform and project growth in the future for our city. And also to actually have what I didn't have the gracious opportunity to do because of the situation of coming in, is to be able to introduce them to each of the departments and the department heads and go over all of the information for their area to continue to be successful. And then lastly, communicate with them that I'm here. I've been a community servant my entire life. That's not going to change. It's not going to change who I am. And I will be there to support whomever it shall be and give them grace and blessings in their future.
Thank you.
They're going to give me the opportunity to break format just a little bit. And so I'm going to ask a question specifically myself. And I want to flip the order around just so that we don't have the same thing. And we'll start with Sharon and go down and then come back to you two. Okay? What thing, Sharon, if you would come up, what things specifically do you think we need to do a better job of promoting our community to bring people here to visit and then potentially to move here, but more specifically to come here and make it a destination of Campbellsville, Taylor County?
I think that goes into our economic development. As we're creating jobs, you create people, you create revenue. I think the main thing for us to go out and get that, I think we have an economic development person that does that, and I would definitely work right along with him to get that. However, right now we're in a crisis of where people don't seem to want to work. So right now I think it's going to be a real task for us to attract the larger industry here. We used to say it was the roads where we're getting the Heartland Parkway across here, and I think it's going to be easier. But I just think that if we can just get out of Campbellsville, go to Frankfurt, stay in contact with our state legislation, know what's going on, know what kind of industries are going on around us, and we can make bids for those. Again, we've got jobs to fill now. So actually, if we go out into our existing industry and try to hold on to them, which is important, but we've got to fill those jobs also. But the main thing is if we can draw new industry, restaurants, whether it be restaurants, anything that we can draw new people into Campbellsville, because Campbellsville is a wonderful place to live. We're compact, with our 11,000 population. Almost everybody knows everybody. We're friendly, and I think that's the most important. We're a home-filled community.
Thank you. Ronnie, would you like to answer that question?
Ask me the question one more time.
I'm sorry?
Ask me the question one more time.
What things do you think specifically that we need to do a better job of promoting our city and county, but our city, since we're dealing with the city race, to be able to promote people to come here as a destination and also maybe potentially to move here, but more specifically, that they come here and view Campbellsville as a destination for their travel?
Right. I kind of echo, again, economic development within our community. I'd like to have a little bit more diversity of places, restaurants, places to eat. We have several restaurants, but I'd like to see us to offer a little bit more diversity, maybe try to attract some of those businesses in. I feel like we need to promote what we have, such as Green River Lake, our parks, our activities that we have. I'm a big fan of publicizing what we have. We have a couple of local elected officials here from the state level. I think our voice needs to be heard in Frankfort as to what Campbellsville offers. And Campbellsville is moving along, as previously mentioned, about the Heartland Parkway coming through. And so pretty much all the arteries leading in and out of Campbellsville is going to be free flow traffic to where you can get in and out fairly easily. And so I feel like that we need to let the people know what we've got and work on enhancing what we got and try to do things to help get the people's interests, see what people are interested in, what attracts them, and try to work on plans such as that.
Thank you. Tony, you would be up.
It's a really good question. Thank you for asking it. It's so important that we continue to work. I'm all about rebirth and revival. We've got to continue to make our city unique, to make our city different, to make our city the place everyone wants to come. Just like our comprehensive plan said, we want to be the hub to bring people to Campbellsville, be the hub where people want to be. We have to think out of the box sometimes. So we must continue to work on areas that need attention. South Campbellsville, Smith Ridge area needs attention. We've got to do what we can to revitalize that area, to bring that area forward. It's going to connect the bypass that's going around. People are going to be coming off there or going down that road. It's very important that we make it safe, we make it pretty, we make it attractive. We can do it. We've got to do all we can to work as hard as we can to develop our city, what we can control, do the best we can with what we have to work with. That's what we need to do to have people want to come here and spend time, spend their money, and shop in our stores and create jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Diane?
That's a great question. I'm going to attack it a little bit differently. The main focus, I think, for us is that our city is actually in Taylor County, and a lot of people forget that. I think it's a crucial situation that our city works with the county continually. One cannot be successful without the other. Barry Smith and I have been working diligently over the past few months in reference to the tourism board and everything that's going on there. Frankly, I personally don't think enough's been going on there. We focus on one specific area, but not the whole picture. We have an amazing trail town program. Trails, bikes, our parks are getting revitalized even currently. If you've been through Miller Park, you can't say that things aren't moving there. So that is vitally important. Working together, we've appointed new people on the tourism board. I feel like there's going to be great growth there, production within our area, the economic growth with Ford Motor Company coming into Glasgow. We're just moments away, 50 minutes away from there. That's going to help with economic development. We have people actively coming in and working and looking at our industrial park. So with that together and being said, in order to be successful, we're going to have to work together with the county as well as the city. Unity.
Thank you, Dennis. All right. Okay.
As the mayor said, absolutely, the number one thing is we have to promote Campbellsville and Taylor County. Tourism, and more tourism. We have to have websites that will actually reach out to start inviting industry and growth in this community. It's not going to come to us unless we go to it. That's bottom line. We've got the Ford factory, you know, there at Glendale coming in. we're sitting at a perfect location for what they call, I guess, spin-off factories for that. Usually, it's my understanding that they won't locate within 60 miles of the original plant. So we're gonna have to be prepared. We're gonna have to let people know we are ready for you to come here. As far as the residents of this community, there you go again. They have to have a place to play. They have to have a place to work. If we don't vitalize our city parks, which is right now, you think they need a lot of work. They need a lot of work. We're going to have to take care of that to invite kids to want to come into this community. When people come, they look at schools, they look at our workforce, they look at our industry and our restaurants, and we need to increase that all we can. But right now, the way it is, one benefit to the city is that anything that locates now outside of our city limits, if it's in what they call the 201 planning area, that means that that area has to locate to have our services. They have to annex into the city. And by doing that, that will bring us a lot more revenue that's needed. So,
Thank you very much. And Mitch.
Like I mentioned earlier, there we have a great opportunity right now with our representation in Frankfurt with Senator Wise and Michael Pollock as 51st District Representative. We have one of the most beautiful waterways in the state out here at Green River Lake. And I know it's been years since it's been mentioned, but it would be a city, community, county thing. I would like to have the opportunity to be brought back again. It was on the back burner years ago when Judge Edgar Fredwald was here that we were going to try to build a lodge. Once again, if we would have an opportunity to have those tourists come in, they're going to come into the city limits, they're going to spend their money here also, and I just believe that'd be a great opportunity for the residents of the city of Campbellsville if we could ever maybe work with our politicians in Frankfurt maybe to bring that to the future of the Green River Lake Lodge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. So we're okay on time. So I'm gonna make an audible here. I told the candidates that you had a 1 minute closing. I'm gonna give you 2, but just promise me to stick to the 2, okay? And since we came this way initially, we'll start to go this way this time. So Dennis, if you would make your closing statement in 2 minutes or less.
thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak to the citizens of this community by radio, by television, Facebook. I want to move this city forward, and I can guarantee you that as a leader, I will fight as hard as I can for the benefit of the people of this community. One thing that I mentioned a while ago, the 5 qualities, I think I got distracted by the little thing there was. It's one of the other things that you can count on me is confidence. I'm confident as your next mayor, if elected, that I'll do the best for this town and we will prosper, we'll gain, and with my faith in God and my hope in God, God will let us prosper. I just ask you to vote when the ballot comes out. I'm number 2 on the ballot, Dennis Benningfield. So I appreciate your vote, and we need everybody we can. This is vital and important. It's important for our city to pick our mayor to run this town. So I ask you May 17th to get out and vote. If you're not registered, get registered. We need your votes. Thank you very much.
Mitch, if you'd like to weigh in, make your closing statement.
I wasn't prepared for an ending statement, but I appreciate the opportunity. I'd like to start off by saying right now I believe any of the 5 candidates would do just as good a job as I could running our city, but I would appreciate the opportunity for your vote. I want us to see this to be a progressive community, and I've said all along, this is not going to be a 4-year deal. I really feel this is going to be a long term affecting whoever's going to be our mayor for the 4 years when they're elected. It's going to affect our community way, way, way on down the road. Now I'm talking like I said, 12, 16, maybe 20 years from now. And with that being said, and Dennis is putting his number 2 spot there. I'm number 6 on the ballot when we drew out. So when that day comes of a primary on May 17th, look for number 6 Mitch Overstreet, and I would really appreciate the opportunity to be your next mayor of Campbellsville. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron?
Again, I want to thank everyone for the invitation and allowing us to come in tonight to kind of give you some idea of what our thoughts are about the community. I'm sure we didn't cover everything. I think the most important thing for me is, in my experience with finances, my leadership style is more of a steward. I'm dependable, loyal, and helpful. I want to see the best in our community and the employees of our city. The most important thing for us to do is to listen, learn everything that we can, and then we lead. In leading, it will take our city to a different level. It's not going to happen overnight. Tell me how we're going to do it without any money. I don't know, but we can't stop. We've got to go over the top. You know, and there's grants out there, you know, we need grant writers. We don't have to stop here just because we're a third-class city. There are opportunities there, and if I'm elected, I will seek those opportunities, along with everybody in the city office and these 12 members of the city council and our city attorney. We will work together. And also, it's going to take togetherness, working with the county government also. Again, I thank you, and I would appreciate your vote on May the 17th, and I would love to be elected the next mayor of Campbellsville, Kentucky.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Ronnie Dooley.
Well, I'm not sure where I'm at on the ballot, but I do know I'm not 1, 2, or 6. And you know, I don't like getting up and talking about myself. I don't like tooting my own horn, but I also understand that being a political candidate that you need to share your inner feelings about yourself. And I pondered on whether to run for mayor for a long time, and it seemed like when I would pull away from the thought of not running, that my inner being kept telling me, yes, you know, run. So I talked to my wife about it, who's been very compassionate and supportive of me in whatever I do. But I'm passionate about my community, and I care about my community, and I love my community. And you know, if elected mayor on, or at least in the top 2 on May the 17th, my promise is to do the best job I can if elected in the November election. If whatever crisis that meets us, you know, then we need to meet the crisis. In my role as emergency management director, when I first was appointed to that role, I didn't know that COVID was going to happen in March. I've been appointed that January. Neither did I know it was going to have 2 back-to-back tornadoes this past year as well either. But I accepted the challenges, and I'm for challenges. I know when we went from regular dispatching to CAD dispatching, which is computer-aided dispatching, there was a challenge for me because I'd already been in it several years, but I accepted those challenges. So I welcome challenges, and I solicit your vote and support for the mayor of Campbellsville.
Thank you, Ron. Tony Young.
I'd like to ask each of you to think about 3 years ago. And then think about just before that, 8 years of that. The excitement. What was going on? 3 new water tanks, water lines, sewer lines, sidewalks, trails. renovation of buildings, the Civic Center, the police department. One thing after the other. And you know, one thing happens when you start doing something, your neighbor wants to do it too. You're kind of a challenge. You want to keep up with them. That makes everybody better. So I'm excited about the record of what we were able to accomplish. I think Campbellsville's really slid back bad. These last 3 years have been bad. There's no doubt about it. Campbellsville's gone backwards. I want to get us back where we are. And I will let you know one thing. My record speaks for itself. You can go with a record of proof of what's going on, or you can go with promises. Thank you very much.
Diane, 14, please.
It's very easy to really paint a picture of what you would do in life or what you would do in a position, but actually doing it is a completely different thing. In just a few months as being mayor so far, we're already achieving goals, and we're actually exceeding the expectations of what I set for myself and what we can actually and are doing as a city. If given the opportunity to continue to be your mayor, I will always be honest and transparent. Like I said, I'm the one that answers the phone calls. I return everything. I answer every email. My door is open. My administration is very dedicated. They work together. Their morale is high. And they are very responsible, working together for your tax dollars. It is my goal to actually solve problems of today and build solutions for our future. And by doing that together, Campbellsville can be strong, we can be strong as a city, and we can work together with the county, and together, all of us can be better in the state of Kentucky. So I look forward to working with all of you. I thank you, and I humbly ask for your vote for Mayor of Campbellsville. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you all.
Thank you. First off, on behalf of the panel, I want to thank you for your presence here and for your speaking and sharing with us. Wish you all good luck in the primary, and for whoever makes it to the general. We look forward to having you back and being able to share with you again and share again your thoughts. But on behalf of the panel, thank you so much. And on behalf of the city of Campbellsville, we thank you for your commitment and dedication and your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
So thank you again for being here. I do want to again acknowledge our, first of all, the Campbellsville Rotary Club for hosting this tonight. This is the venue that we meet in every Wednesday. I just want to kind of quickly tell you about this venue because it's such a neat venue and a lot of people don't really realize that it's even here. This is a venue that is available for your use for private parties, bridal receptions, corporate events, and Andrea Lawler and Luke Lawler are the proprietors of this venue, and it's a tremendous advantage to Campbellsville. We had the sectional speech contest for Rotary here last week, so we had 7 different counties represented, and every one of them was very complimentary of this venue and the fact that they would like to have something like this. So I say that to say that she made this available for us to use tonight at no cost. So if you see Andrea or Luke out, by all means thank them for allowing us to use this facility, and it's very nice. And if you have an event that you feel like this would be a great place for you to use, I encourage you to reach out to them. So then our partners with the Rotary Club tonight was WLCU TV, K-Country, Q104 Broadcasting, the Central Kentucky News Journal, and they did a good job. So I'd like for us just to appreciate them and all our candidates for being here tonight. I want to thank Mr. Bertram again for holding court there, trying to keep everybody on track. So he did a good job, John. So our plan would be that, well, we're not just going to plan it, we're going to do it. So we're going to have another debate next Tuesday evening for the Republican candidates for sheriff. The reason that we have the Republican candidates for sheriff is because the Democratic candidate has no opposition. So we'll have the 3 candidates for Republican sheriff here next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And then the winner of that race will then have a debate in the fall with the lone Democratic candidate. So we'll have at least those 2 more races coming up. And I believe that well, there's another countywide race or 2 that we will probably have in the fall, but in the spring they didn't have any competition. So thank you for being here. Thank you, candidates. We've obviously got 6 well-qualified, well-spoken, passionate people running for that office. So I look forward to working with whoever wins that. So thank you all for coming. I think that's all we got for you tonight. Be safe going home.